is the poetry editor at 14 Hills, the FSSU Review. He lives in Half Moon Bay with his wife and an invisible waitlist unicorn named Barnaby.
How did you know? Barnaby Jones, huh?
Great. Hi. Where did that unicorn come from?
This is what happens when you don't submit bios to us.
Because that one's pretty good. I think I'm going to keep it. So I'm going to read just from this chapbook that I have back there. If you guys want to grab one, that's fine. I encourage that. But the first one, it's not technically in there. I just wrote it in here. So this is an extra. The other ones, they're in there. Learning to be less. Learning to be less starts with having less, owning less, doing less, making less. The smallest can be the greatest. Wanting more is always the best way to be left. Needing nothing more than love or lust and the tools of a passion. And whatever it makes should only make us lighter, like these words that I lust after. A stack of bricks and mortar make an oven, make me less. A home for my passion, a bed of coals outside my chest. Make me lighter, empty, less. Sounds pretty rowdy out there. What's going on? Hi, Steve.
Right.
Welcome. All right. Dear Tuesday. I, with my envelopes and watercolor, flint and steel foundation, frayed at the edges since Easter and the egress of the mountainous regions of your lingerie hard-on sunspot, have chopped and staked a fence in the clearing of 7-Eleven, hot dog cosmetics on sale around. I'm a wiffle ball armory for the blind twitch you keep in your pockets. A hot crumb ensemble and dark fish bait made of stock photo finishes, glossier than the wet end of a St. Patrick's Day parade marathon. Your trust in calamitous impact and distraction played slowly over sitar drone, sometimes fails to bewilder, but still I distill enough to get fucked up in an emergency. Thanks. Dear ennui, dear day of penance as a wick weaver in the lit candle factory of history's consolatory victory lap, around the burned down orphanage of prehistory. You make Wednesday look like sepia tone too. Not easy since it hasn't happened yet. Did I ever tell you how much I hate Mondays? No one can take my labor and make it look something like childbirth, midwife and all, like you can Tuesday, toes to the nose day. I love you in your snow white sturgeon's gown. Song is living in a state of mind. Song galore is a state of mind, left for the living in the siren's call. To pimp his blimp by the tsunami dawn, changes jingle inside him. His limbs, hot ions, fumble for control by the hum and the grace of the wasted. Song galore is a purple, lavender, magenta, and pink fuck me. Song galore is made of looks, the lyre of books, Olympic contenders vie for him. That moment between hook and theme, song promises silence. Red rose of the sunset, cold pierced from the wind, heart mixed by an arrow. Song galore is a traffic guard, bids us cross while the truck is coming. Pathetic poetitudes, or half-life of an empire. We come here often to this pleasant grove to shuck peanuts, laugh and wave at those who might see us while leaning out their evening's window. We write poems to the academy, for the academy, to employ our time when no one else will. We collect raindrops from the windowsill. We sometimes reflect a world that is sad. We sometimes reflect a world that is bad. We sometimes drive our own selves mad. But what else can we do? Just toss our shit like apes in this rich man's petting zoo? Look. She doesn't know she's easing my heartache as she fixes a mixed drink, as I lean on the bar and Tom waits in the player, and I wait for her smile and she gives it so slightly, her eyes giving more, and I return it politely. My thoughts like lightning, flashing, far off and calm, distinctly promising. Her eyes flash remotely to match me, and for a moment I'm caught in a spiral of storm clouds, slower than stillness and deeper than gravity, violent and peacefully teetering the edge. I lean further and wait for the moment to swallow me, and her too, and it does, so softly, my body begins to rain. I don't know if I should do small talk. Sometimes I feel like I should do small talk, and then it turns out to be a bad idea in retrospect. So that's where I'm coming from now. Alright. Transmission. In salt solution, it's darkest blue, backward bending, blood veined, or telegraphic transocean cable. Same in shadow till red, read shallow, red shadow of light. Into the emergence of dawn and a reflective beam, refractive vernacular, the prism of language. Our dimension, dementia, threefold moment of no identified beginning. Retroactive, we see revolution as freefall, internally consistent but outwardly uncertain, a radical departure from resplendence, defined, refined, by gravity, deified, which seems to deepen how close to sunset we are. That's centrifugal, or center of the fugue, pedal, quick now. It traveled through such stillness to reach the sleeping shoulder and shake in vast dreams, awake, inoculated. The poet consults his food horoscope. We're all artists of survival for a while. I think most people want peace, at least in the beginning. Reality needs input. I've sat and seen things in the early evening, poetic things like red and blue, mountains, clouds, trees, seen them disappear. Nothing stranger in a moment you could die than wanting to write a poem about it, and then deciding to edit. The effigy only imitates burning, each city built from another's debris. Families gathered down in the rear courtyard, chatting, drinking, babies on the floor. Mystery is the only real luxury. Aspiration to someday be a tapestry. If heaven is real, it should be all right to sleep in the bath. We might eventually know the price of convening this committee. More than the effort of giving all these good lies meaning, our pain played as if just ecstasy. The flute turned rifle, turned flute again. The bird bone, the child in water wings, lightning, learning to love flip-flops. We hit the sun above a sequence of umbrellas, the mind's gentle intentions scrapped for order. Today we wear that hat like another crooked dream faculty, a shadow nuance of porch or moth. The audience in repose dreams of feline flickering, flittering across the darkened screen, or shadows upon a billowing screen of luminescence, who knows? To be or just be, the child grown big as a suitcase. Is it too late to die young? You discover you're in love with everyday voluptuousness, perhaps feeling preceded touch after all. Meditations on Louis Gluck, or Dixon's class, assignment number 2. Just my luck to have forgotten my assignment to this moment in the fog of a Tuesday, not really morning anymore. I had meant to be doing something else by now, but as luck has had it, I search instead the cracks of your poetry and hope to glean gifts from you, Louise. The urge is to want to compare you to something. Your name, for example, lucky one, happy one. I'm not immune to irony. As most people know, lucky and happy are ugly words, dangerous words, inciting the tragic impulse in the universe. And I see that you struggle too with this, Louise. You who said we looked once in childhood at the world and the rest is just memory. You who gently interrogates the sprouted earth and death in the same foggy mirror. You who knows that something frozen is something dead, and yet, exquisitely, you've frozen in your poetry all that you love. I'm just going to read one more. So it's called Sheep. She is inside the song again, off again to free a pigeon from an acorn shell. Her fingers plunk at ivory. She's a black piano in the moonlit orchard, pressed chords reaching through the canopy of the moon. She commandeers the sea for her vessel. She moves to pour the shoreline out like an ink spill, each detail a grotto, resounding inside the hum of itself, wave-like winking from the vaulted rock. Guess what I have today is a head cold. It makes changing the channel extra tedious. What I wanted to write there was Chanel, even though that's not what I meant, product of advertisers or my own mind. It is indecent to see things from certain perspectives, from the bottom up, for example. A dreamless sleep, she is dewy and omnidirectional origami, the Eden lotus perhaps, something always falling apart into itself, like me. It is normal for a ceremony to begin with some poison. I just like to look at things. Even the man with the crab hand, sport fisher in the picture, grand old claw paw, cold as the North Pole, unwilling to tire gracefully. Please, no flash deposits. Friday evening dinner plans at the restaurant by the distraction. No time for reverie. Isn't it pleasant to turn the page?